Welcome to A Life in Chapters, the podcast about books, journaling, and building a creative life that feels meaningful. I'm Alison Wood, and in each episode I share stories, reflections, and prompts to help you slow down, reconnect with yourself, and find inspiration in everyday moments. This is episode 22, 9 authors I always read, no matter what they publish. So I love returning to authors I know well. There's a special kind of magic that happens when you find an author you truly click with. You know the feeling, you see their name on a cover, and you don't even need to read the blurb. You just know you're going to take that book home. And that's what I want to explore today. The authors I always read, no matter what they publish. Some of these are huge names with global success and film adaptations. Others are quieter favourites, the sort of writers you might discover tucked away in a corner of the bookshop. They write in different styles. There's psychological thrillers, sweeping historical fiction, cosy mysteries, even books with a touch of magic. But the thread running through them all is this: I trust them. I know they'll transport me, and that's all I really ask of a book. Now, of course, this isn't a definitive list of every author I love. That would take far too long. But these are the ones I instinctively gravitate towards, the ones whose new releases I wait for, the ones I'll happily reread on a rainy day. And just so you know, there's no particular order here. They're all on the list because I can't not read them. The first is Maggie O'Farrell. She writes with such emotional depth that I often find myself pausing mid-paragraph just to breathe in the words. She notices the tiny details of life, the way someone moves their hand, the weight of silence in a room, and somehow makes it all matter. Most people know her for Hamnet, which reimagines Shakespeare's family life. It's stunning. But I also love This Must Be the Place, which is layered, sprawling, and deeply human. For me, O'Farrell's books are about being reminded to notice life. I don't just finish them, I carry them with me. The second is Donna Tartt. She's the opposite kind of writer. She doesn't publish often, just 3 novels in decades, but when she does, I clear my diary. The Secret History is her masterpiece, dark, intellectual, and steeped in obsession. It's one of those books I can return to again and again. Each time I read it, I find something new. I first read it in my early 20s, and I remember being completely mesmerized. The atmosphere, the sense of belonging and betrayal, the weight of every sentence. Her books take time, but they're definitely worth it. Reading Tartt feels like being pulled into a world that's beautiful and unsettling at the same time. Anthony Horowitz is completely different again. He's the master of clever plotting, of creating stories that feel like puzzles you can't stop turning over in your hands. Whether it's the Magpie Murders series or the Hawthorne and Horowitz books, he always hooks me from the first page. I'd suggest starting with Magpie Murders if you want to experience a mystery within a mystery, or The Word is Murder if you enjoy a playful meta twist. He's actually in the books. What I admire most is that even after years of devouring crime fiction, Horowitz can still surprise me, and that's why I'll always come back to him. Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club series has become a firm comfort read for me. These books are cozy crime at its best, clever, warm, and full of heart. The series starts in a retirement village with a group of residents solving crimes together. It sounds whimsical, but it's also packed with insight about friendship, aging, and the ways we hold on to joy even as life changes. Next on my Osman list is his new series starting with We Solve Murders, and I can't wait to dive in. For me, reading Osman feels like pulling on a favourite jumper. I know I'll smile, I know I'll laugh, and I'll probably cry too. That combination of wit and warmth is what keeps me reaching for him. Nikki French, actually the writing duo of husband and wife Nikki Gerard and Sean French. These books are brilliant psychological thrillers. They're tense and unsettling, but they're also full of empathy for the complexity of human behaviour. If you enjoy a series, start with Blue Monday, the first in the Frida Klein books. If you want to stand alone, The Memory Game, the first of their books I read, is excellent. What I love about Nikki French is the way they explore psychology. It's not just about what happens, it's about why. What drives people, what shapes them, what breaks them. Their books don't just thrill, they linger. Liane Moriarty has this uncanny ability to take ordinary suburban lives and slowly peel back the layers until you uncover something shocking underneath. Of course, Big Little Lies is her most famous, and the TV series only amplified that. But I also loved her most recent one, Here One Moment, which had such an irresistible premise. Her books are the ones I reach for when I want something fast-paced, but also grounded in reality. She keeps me turning pages, but she also makes me think. Dan Brown is one of those authors I can't help but enjoy. His books are cinematic, dramatic, puzzle-filled roller coasters. They're the kind you read late into the night, muttering just one more chapter. The Da Vinci Code was the first I read, and like so many others, it completely hooked me. Later ones like Origin take a more futuristic edge, but they still carry that same propulsive energy. I also loved The Lost Symbol, and I can't wait to read his new one, The Secret of Secrets, which is just out, and it is set in Prague. Sometimes I want subtle, thoughtful prose. Other times I just want the thrill of a wild ride, and that's what Dan Brown delivers. Ashley Poston is a newer discovery for me, but I adore her writing. She combines humour, romance, and just a touch of magic in a way that feels fresh and heartfelt. The Dead Romantics was the first I read, and it's one of my favourite reads of the past couple of years. It's a rom-com with a ghostly twist. It made me laugh and cry all at once. And The 7-Year Slip is another gem, playing with time and second chances. Her books feel like comfort, but comfort with emotional depth. They remind me that stories can be tender and playful at the same time. And lastly, in our set of 9, Alice Hoffman. She's been writing for decades, and her backlist is vast. But what keeps me coming back is the lyrical, almost mystical quality of her prose. She blends magical realism with human emotion so seamlessly that her stories feel timeless. Practical magic is the obvious starting point, but I also love the Museum of Extraordinary Things, which combines history with enchantment. Her books make the everyday feel a little more magical, and honestly, I think we could all use a bit more of that. Now, stepping back for a moment, what ties all these authors together for me? Firstly, trust. I trust them to deliver. Even if the subject isn't what I'd usually choose, I know they'll take me somewhere worthwhile. Comfort. Some of them feel like old friends. I know what I'll get, and that reliability is a gift. Stretch. Others challenge me, pull me into uncomfortable places, or make me see the world differently. And anticipation. There's nothing quite like the thrill of a new release from an author you love. It's like having a date circled on the calendar that you know will bring joy. And perhaps most importantly of all, identity. The authors we always read say something about who we are as readers. They shape our shelves, but they also shape how we see ourselves. So now I want to turn it over to you. Who are the authors you always read? The ones you'll pick up without even glancing at the blurb. The names that make your heart skip a beat when you see a new book announced. Think about it for a moment. Maybe even jot them down in a journal. And if you'd like to share, I've created a space where you can. Over on my Patreon, I've set up a public post centered on this episode where you can share your own always read authors. It's open to everyone, and there's free content over there on Patreon too if you'd like to explore. And if you do feel like upgrading, you'll also find this month's Clarity audio there. The theme is the power of small shifts, a guided reflection to help you notice the tiny changes in your life that can add up to big transformations over time. So come and join me at patreon.com/A Life in Chapters. I'd love to read about your favourite authors and maybe even add a few new ones to my own list. Until next time, happy reading.